The stage is set. 24 ordinary men and women are about to go head-to-head with the most extraordinary obstacle course ever assembled. Those brave enough must be prepared to endure breathtaking spills, spectacular tumbles, and catastrophic falls. Only the swiftest and fastest four will move on and compete in our final obstacle course, the biggest of them all, the Wipeout Zone. The final step in the journey to $50,000. The epic competition begins now to see who will emerge victorious and who will wipe out. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Wipeout. I'm John Anderson, joined as always with John Henson.
Today, 24 ordinary people will be competing on the largest, most ridiculous obstacle course ever created. And one of them will be going home with $50,000.
That is correct, and that is good money, John. And everything starts with our Wipeout qualifier. And the qualifier consists of 4 obstacles. This week, we have the not-so-tasty donut run, the sucker punch, the big balls, and finally, the pole vault.
It's a fool's errand, John, but if they want to move on to the next round, they'll need the right mix of speed, endurance, and courage in the face of our big balls.
Indeed they will. We are starting with 24, but only half of those, the top 12 times, will be moving on to our next round.
And have a shot at getting their hands on the 50 grand.
First up is Neil Smith, a salesman from Long Beach, California. Jill Wagner, the third member of our Wipeout team, spoke with him just a moment ago.
Okay, so Neil, what skill are you bringing to the table today?
Well, I am ridiculously good looking. Do crunches, so I've got that going for me.
Okay, not sure if that's a skill or how true that is, but good luck. Back to you guys.
So ridiculously modest Neil Smith on the course and on his way to the first obstacle, the donut run.
All he has to do is cross these stacks of donuts to the other side.
That is a lot muddier than I thought it would be.
Yeah, it's like ridiculously muddy.
Neil now onto the second set of donuts.
This is gonna look good on my resume.
Out of the mud pit, and now on his way over to the sucker punch. You know how this works, John. Across the beam, avoid getting punched, into the mud. That's unfortunate, no matter how handsome you are. Next up, the big balls.
I'm familiar with this.
All he has to do is cross that bridge of bouncy balls.
This is not cool.
Not yet, Neil, but give it a second.
Do it.
Wow!
It's okay, he broke the fall with his face.
Your face might be a little damaged after this, Neil.
Now Neil has to swim and climb to the last obstacle, the pole vault.
He's got to use the pole, vault, and land on the big ball. But if he misses, then he has to swim over to the final platform.
You gotta be joking.
Nope, we're not joking.
Seriously?
And he's ridiculously off target.
Apparently, Neil is not a belt salesman.
Pull up your pants, Neil.
And Neil finishes with a ridiculously impressive time of 2 minutes and 9 seconds.
All right, let's see who's next.
Starting out on the course now is 37-year-old Nancy Stanley. Now, John, that is not an obstacle, but Nancy isn't the first we've seen get a head start on the falling here.
Who do we have to talk to about making that an official obstacle?
Nancy on her feet, and she is on her way over to the donut run. You know, Nancy says she's out here representing the big girl.
That's right, John. In fact, I believe it's an elected position.
Oh my God.
Nancy eyeing the donuts. Oh, bummer. That was a hard fall.
Well, you know her campaign slogan, yes, we can't.
Nancy is up for her second term now.
I'm the donut run, and I approved this wipeout.
Up ahead at the sucker punch is Tracy Auer. At 4 feet 10 inches, she's the shortest contestant in our competition. Yo, splat! Tracy takes a body blow to the head. This is mortgage broker Nick Lewis, and he has been making excellent time up to the big, until now.
I think Nick might be in need of renovation, John. But he makes a quick recovery, and he is onto the pole vault in no time.
Ooh, hard hitting the water there.
Doesn't seem to slow him down, though, and he's on his way to the big finish.
This may be the one to beat.
You might be right there, Jill. Looks like Nick's going to be clocking in with a very impressive time.
Nick, 1 minute and 36 seconds. You're the one to beat.
All right, let's go. Let's gotta keep that going. Doesn't mean much now. Whoa.
I'm sorry. What was that?
Gotta keep that going, doesn't mean much now. Whoa.
Yeah, I think his headband is on too tight. Let's check out some more action. That hurt.
Ready to start at the top of the course is extreme chick fighter Laika de los Santos.
De los Santos, Spanish for not intended as an obstacle.
Ah, but what's not to Laika? Round one coming up. And down goes Laika. Down goes Laika.
Laika, ready for a rematch. Well, on the bright side, she's gonna love going back to chick fighting.
Time for round two.
Ooh, right in the chin, head, spleen, hip, chest, body, nose. Boy, Clint Eastwood might want to pull the plug on this $50,000 baby. Round three.
Hello. That'll hurt a lot and for a long time. Final round.
I gotta tell you, John, for a finely tuned athlete, she looks exhausted.
Laika, you can do it. This is the end.
Oh, hard to hit off the pole, John.
Man, I am glad I am safe in the booth. And our punch-drunk chick fighter with a time of 4 minutes, 43 seconds.
Good job. She is done.
Whoa, John, what was that?
That is Joey Manila, and after she was patted down for a wire, Jill spoke with Joey.
Okay, now, Joey, if you win the $50,000, what are you gonna do with the money?
I owe Fat Nick and his little brother Fat Nick some money, so I gotta pay that off.
You know, I think I know Fat Nick's parents, Fat Pad and Fat Pat.
Joey now casing the big balls.
Oh, bada bing.
You know, I'm not sure a guy in the witness protection program wants this much face time on national television. So let's take a look at how some of the others have fared today on the big balls.
Oh,
Goodness. Ah.
oh.
Yikes.
Bye now.
Having a great run up to the big balls is personal trainer Jaron Joshu.
That's right, John. On paper, Jaron is one of our toughest competitors. Unfortunately, they don't play the game on paper. They play it on big balls. Doesn't seem to slow him down, though. He's plucky, this kid, and he is on his way to the finish.
Oh, needed less pole and more vault there. But he makes a quick recovery, however, swimming over to the platform for a time of 1 minute, 40 seconds.
Let's see who's next.
I'm down here with Ariel Tweedote. Ariel?
Yes.
Where are you from?
I'm from a little village in Alaska called Unalakleet. I've never had a boyfriend. I've never been kissed because in the village we're pretty much all related. And I didn't like...
Yeah, no, then that's totally understandable.
Yeah, I didn't feel like dating my cousins. I don't know, it just wasn't right for me. Isn't that sad? I'm 20 and I haven't been kissed. So guys out there, if you're watching, I'm free, single, living the good life.
Caller.
Ariel out on the course and looking to slide into one of those top 12 spots.
Oh, no.
And remember, guys, she's also looking for a date. Anybody want to meet Ariel over donuts? Provided you're not one of her cousins.
Ariel quickly up, out of the mud, and on her way to the sucker punch.
You know, John, Ariel competes in the Alaskan Youth Olympics. Let's see if that athletic training carries her to the other side.
Not at all. Let's get over to the big balls. So, Johnny, you said Ariel was an Alaskan Youth Olympian?
Yes.
It says here her event was the seal hop?
Well, didn't help her much on the sucker punch, did it?
Whoa, I think that was it. I think we have just witnessed a seal hop.
Oh, whoa is right, Jill.
She's focused again.
Seal hop, frogger technique, whatever you call it, it's working.
She's looking ahead and another hop.
Unbelievable. She's seal hopping like a pro. Only one step left, and she did it.
The only person ever to successfully cross the big balls, and she's showing no signs of slowing down.
Where's the pole?
And we might have hit a snag.
Where's the pole?
Anyone here seen a pole?
What pole? Let's see how she does. That was it.
Oh, dear.
Doggy paddle! I suck at swimming!
Yeah, that's perfect for Wipeout. But with a time of 2 minutes, 25 seconds, Ariel still turns in a pretty impressive run.
Okay, so Ariel, now what happened about this pole?
I was right in front of
So
me.
you didn't even see the pole?
No, I thought the pole was yellow.
Pole's not yellow, Ariel.
It's a mistake that could have happened to anyone.
Let's head back to the top of our course with 19-year-old Taekwondo instructor Kyle Adler.
Pumped, permed, and ready to go.
Kyle down that ramp with no problem. And now on his way to the first obstacle, the donut run.
First donut run, no problem for Kyle. Second donut run, problem.
Oh, I love to see some mud.
There's more where that came from, Kyle. It's all you can eat here at Wipeout.
John, Kyle tells us he's a huge Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle fan.
Cowabunga, dude.
Next up, the big balls. Kyle also said he's doing this for his mom, which is very nice.
Ooh, Mama never said there'd be balls like these.
Kyle making excellent time up to the pole vault.
Sorry, Kyle. No joke. Oh!
That was kind of funny. Still coming in at 1 minute, 41 seconds. Well, that's a time you can write home to mom about.
Yeah, I don't think he needs to, John. I'm pretty sure she could hear him from here.
Working his way up to the big balls, 23-year-old Chris Slakawa. Chris said he'd like to use his winnings to pay for law school.
That's a first. And we should see that again, don't you think?
Yeah, John, a lot of people have different strategies on the big balls. There's on the big balls, off the big balls. This is the first time we've ever seen somebody try to go through the big balls. I don't even know if that counts as a wipeout, but I like it.
This is 19-year-old Jennifer Tapiero.
East Coast, baby.
She's a belly dancer from New Jersey. Jill, what do you have for us?
Thanks, guys. I'm here with Jennifer Tapiero. Jennifer, are you excited?
I'm very excited. Yes, I'm very excited, yeah.
Can you do a little bit of belly dancing for me right now?
A little bit? Well, maybe. And then you could go like all the way down.
That is really cool.
Yeah, it's gonna work out, whatever.
Jennifer takes the course representing belly dancers from New Jersey, or whatever.
I gotta tell you, John, I've been a big fan of belly dancers from New Jersey ever since right now.
I can feel the excitement.
I'm not fluent, but I believe that's Jersey for oops.
It's a sexy, that's all I know. Hell yeah.
She's out of the mud
It's hot, right?
and onto the sucker punch. Lining up her options here.
And there she goes, not a glove on her. Oh! Almost makes it to the other side. And while Jennifer takes a moment to wave hi to the folks back home in Jersey, let's move ahead to Tara Farrell on the pole vault.
And Tara nails it. A little sloppy, but that's effective.
That's one way to do it.
And here are many, many ways not to do it. Oh! Smack. Hurt me.
Ooh, you're gonna want to put some cream on that.
Yes.
Nope.
Sorry.
Interesting.
Oh, I think you just broke the pole.
While we reset the pole, let's go back to the top of the course and meet our final contestant, Anita Lavi. Anita's a 53-year-old grandmother of 8.
Wow. She's so excited to be here, she couldn't even wait for an obstacle to wipe out.
Well, it appears no harm done, minimal time lost there, and she is on her way over to the donut run. And she's in the mud. Looking a little hesitant here. A little stunned here. And a little muddy here.
Up out of the mud now, and Nana creeping up to the sucker punch now. Let's see how she does. Oh, the sucker punch wall, showing no respect for one's elders. All right, now Grammy's gonna have to face the big balls. And I think we can all agree that doesn't sound like a good idea.
Oh.
And she's determined, she's tough, and she's buoyant.
I can't talk. I'm too tired.
Uh-oh, I think we're gonna have to get Nana some floaties.
You know, John, she may just be able to pull it all together for this one last obstacle.
Come on, Anita, you're almost home. $50,000.
Here she goes.
Well, she may have missed the mark here, and on all the other obstacles, frankly. But you know what? Being a grandmother of 8, just finishing is quite an achievement. Well, unfortunately, that will not get Grandmama past the qualifier. 12 contestants have made it past our qualifier. Personal trainer Jaren, our ninja Kyle, and Jersey girl Jennifer are moving on, along with the mortgage broker Nick and Ariel, who's still looking for that kiss.
Yeah, Ariel definitely has a chance to be swept off her feet now, and here's why. The sweeper has been known to give out free smooches. And since we like to keep our contestants guessing, this week, the sweeper has been outfitted with the Spikes of Doom.
I believe we're supposed to call it a toothbrush.
Whatever, yeah. The contestants will be on 10-foot-high poles as the Spikes of Doom
Toothbrush
relentlessly move in a sweeping motion. Contestants then have to jump over the Spikes
Bristles
of Doom to avoid being smacked into the water below. The final 6 will be moving up in the standings, but that doesn't mean they won't be falling down into the water.
Indeed, we love the wipeouts. And the sweeper then will continue until the last man standing wins the war on tooth decay and takes home a $1,000 bonus.
All right, the contestants are ready. Let's go down to the action.
Here we go!
And the sweeper gets underway. Mike Pazinski is the first pole position, and he almost falls down before the sweeper gets to him. But our oldest contestant able to stand up, make it through okay, and the sweeper now underway.
Don't fall!
That's fit model Dina DePompa trying to psych out the competition.
Don't fall!
And it works. Vanessa Berghorn loses her balance, and she's gone.
Sadly, Vanessa loses it on the sweeper's lowest, slowest setting.
A great dismount, though, as the sweeper almost immediately claims one victim, leaving us 11 standing.
Scratch that, Dina face plants and goes down. Trying to stay in the competition by leaving teeth on the platform, no go.
So 10 contestants remain standing, which means 4 of them will need a deep cleaning before we move on to the bonus round.
I'm scared!
Ariel Tuito seems excited to make it over the sweeper.
Well, at least you didn't have a problem spotting the pole this time, John.
Where's the pole? Damn! That toothbrush!
Jennifer Tapiero sharing her passion for dental hygiene.
Oh, it's getting higher! Here we go, man, it's getting higher! It's getting higher!
I know, ridiculously higher.
And Jennifer's a class act all the way to the end.
I haven't seen a Jersey girl flop like that since J-Lo hooked up with Ben Affleck.
So now we only need 3 more people to wipe out before we move on to the final 6.
Whoa! Ariel's the only girl left, and she almost goes down.
Show us what this thing can do. Come on.
Do not taunt the sweeper, Kyle.
And there goes Mike. Will flipping over the bar. Downer goes down. Chris taking it off the face, but he manages to hang on. Ariel from the north, she just went south.
That was phenomenal. Check out the sweeper's path of destruction here.
Mike takes one off the chest.
Which cannot be good for his pacemaker.
Will Rideau does a hip-hop dance move kind of thing. Well, we're Rideau him.
Delmar so impressed by Will's dance move that he does the robot and goes into the water himself. And Ariel not able to handle this wild pipeline, and she goes down.
But since we only needed 3 more people to wipe out, Ariel gets that last spot in the next round. She just won't be competing in the $1,000 bonus round, which starts right now.
All right, now it's for $1,000.
The sweeper will go as high and as fast as necessary to get 5 more people to wipe out.
There goes one of them.
Yeah, no court of appeals for our wannabe lawyer, Chris.
Chris's wipeout means we only need 3 more people knocked off before we move on to the next round.
Jaren clears the sweeper. Mortgage broker Nick takes a plunge.
And that just leaves us now with personal trainer Jaren, pretty boy Neil, and teenage ninja Kyle. Neil, though, loses his footing and he goes down. Well, that was ridiculous.
You ready? I was born ready.
And it all comes down to Jaren and Kyle.
I just want you to know I went to the Olympics for jumping over giant toothbrushes.
They're not toothbrushes, Kyle. They're spikes of doom.
Toothbrushes.
I'm trying to have a good time here. Do you mind?
Oh, and Jaren goes. No, wait. He's pulling himself back up, but he needs to hurry before the sweeper comes back around. He's up and he's back down.
That was amazing. Take a look at this. Jaren, arms and legs akimbo, unable to right himself despite that winning body language of his.
So Olympic toothbrush hurdler Kyle takes home the cash.
That's right, John, and he will be moving on with 5 others. Break it down.
Well, among them we have Never Been Kissed Ariel Tweetel, law school wannabe Chris Lakawa, and Neil Smith, who, dare I say, is ridiculously good looking. Of these 6, just 4 will emerge to compete in the Wipeout Zone and vie for a shot at the $50,000.
But first, they're gonna have to get past our next obstacle, the dizzy dummy.
Here's how it works. There are 4 rounds. First, contestants are strapped to the dizzy dummy and spun around till they're good and dizzy. Then it's off to the first obstacle, the crazy beams. The first to cross that course will move on to the Wipeout Zone. The rest will then get back on the dummy, spin, and try the second course. That's the pole vault. Those who fail, spin again.
And again, and again.
Until we have our final 4.
Yeah, let's hope nobody ate lunch.
Yeah. They are ready to go. First up, it's those crazy beams.
That's what she
Oh,
said.
no!
Whoa!
Anybody gonna feel sick? Anybody starting to feel sick?
Disneyland right here.
Chris, talking a little smack. Seems awfully chipper for this event, John.
John, that's because it's the first spin. See how those smiles hold up as the game continues.
And they're off. $50,000 on the line.
Group looks wobbly. Neil waddling his way to the front. But here comes the Ninja Turtle showing a little Taekwondo attitude.
Neil wipes out, but here comes Chris. Never mind.
Mortgage broker Nick tries to put a lean on Kyle, but Kyle jumps, lands, and he's hanging on with his teeth. Here comes Jaron. Hurt me. And he's going to have to start over.
John, I have to think the dummy scrambled something in his head because this is not the same competitor we saw in the sweeper. Back at the head of the course, Chris jumps.
I've got to wonder, where exactly did he think he was going to land?
Kyle jumps, barely catches, starting to slide backwards. Nick sees an opportunity. No!
Too late. Kyle, first to the Wipeout Zone.
Woo!
Kyle's a martial arts instructor, but that is a Taekwondo.
Jaron not happy to do this again, and no one wants to stand next to him. To make matters worse, the weather is starting to roll in. Jill, what's going on down there?
Hey guys, the cold weather has really set in, and you gotta believe that's gonna affect the contestants.
You know it's cold when the contestant from Alaska is shivering.
Here we go.
5 people still in the game. 3 spots remain. It's time for the pole vault.
It's going really fast.
In fact, the speed has been increased.
That's right, because when you double the dizzy, you double the dump.
Wait, something's brewing with Jaron. Oh, this doesn't look good.
No problem.
Ooh, I think he's throwing up.
We have Wipeout history, John. Jaron is the first contestant to ever return his lunch on the dizzy dummy.
I can't look at that.
Nick, preoccupied with the thought that perhaps the dummy might be a metaphor for the cyclical nature of the subprime mortgage market, or just unfazed by vomit.
And Ariel, looking for love in all the wrong places.
And attention law schools, the man in back is applying for admission.
Jill is with Jaron right now.
Jaron, buddy, how you doing?
I gave it every single thing I got and a little bit more.
All right, well, back to you guys.
So Jaron quits, which officially ends our round, but no one had a chance to advance, so we are going to go back to the crazy beams.
4 contestants left. First across moves on to the Wipeout Zone.
And they're off. Neil moving slowly. Chris, not sure what to do, but here comes the mortgage broker. Nick kneeling in front of Neil. That's the power of suggestion. He jumps, lands on his fanny. Hey,
My friends walk straight in when they're drunk.
Neil trying to think of a way to look handsome doing this. But here comes Chris.
hello. Neil making a run for it. No good. Alaskan Youth Olympian Ariel. Where's the pole? Neil back at it. He's on.
Ariel's doing pretty well.
You're right, Jill, but it's Nick who's approaching the end of the course.
Neil trying to catch up with him. Nick goes for it. Misses. That gives Neil a chance. Here comes Chris. There goes Chris. Neil almost to the finish. Ariel trying to catch him.
The Wipeout Zone just got a little bit more good-looking as Neil is moving on.
And Ariel doesn't want to get back in that freezing water.
Neil, it looks like those good looks are getting you through this competition.
Yeah, not as quickly as I like.
So as humility takes a vacation, we move on. 3 players left, 2 tickets remain to the Wipeout Zone. Pole vault's up.
Remember, John, this is their 4th trip on the dizzy dummy. They have been spinning for 6 full minutes now. If you're wondering what that does to your body, take a look at this.
Chris off to his usual lightning-quick start, but here comes the mortgage broker, who went about 20% down.
First to the poles, Nick and Chris kind of battling for pole position there.
Chris looks like he's ready, but it is Nick who's first.
And he sticks the landing. Moving on to the second half. And he drops like the housing market.
Here comes Chris.
Motion denied.
Now it's Ariel's turn. She bites it.
Well, technically, they all bit it, John.
Do you think the event that you did was harder or this?
Oh, that looks way harder. I'm so glad I got out.
With no one advancing from the pole vault, that brings us to our final round, and that means the first two contestants, two of them that cross the crazy beams, will move on.
Guys think they're dizzy, they're tired, they're wet, they're cold. This is not going to be easy.
And to make it yet more fun, it's now raining.
Final round, 2 tickets remain to the Wipeout Zone.
Nick again on his knees.
Here comes Ariel and Chris. Nick jumps. He's got it. Ariel taking a moment to get her bearings straight. She sticks it.
But here comes Chris. Can he hang on? No.
Nick jumps. Nails it.
Here comes Chris again.
Nick crawling his way to the finish. Ariel makes a jump for it.
Oh, she was so close.
Chris moving, but not very quickly. He'll have to move faster than that if he wants to catch up with Nick, who's at the end of the course.
Nick is moving on.
Good job.
With Nick now approved for the Wipeout Zone, that leaves just one spot left.
There's Chris doing a little crouching tiger, hidden walrus.
Ooh, and he's gonna have to go all the way back to the beginning.
Ariel jumps again.
So glad I'm not a guy.
These two fighting it out like wetsuit-clad salmon going upstream. Ariel jumps, lands it, and may have just had her first kiss.
Yeah, but they are not related, John, so everybody wins.
Chris is up. Oh, no.
Ariel moving on to the final beam.
She's going to have to jump to this one.
She's one jump away from the Wipeout Zone and a chance at $50,000.
Looks so easy, but it's so hard.
Where's the platform?
Yes! Yes! One female in the competition.
All right, Ariel, never been kissed except by a crazy beam Tweedo, will be rubbing noses with the Wipeout Zone.
Along with ridiculously good-looking Neil Smith, Ninja Kyle Adler, and mortgage broker Nick Lewis.
We have replaced the sun with fire, and we have reached our final obstacle.
4 contestants are left, and one of them, the one who conquers the Wipeout Zone, will be walking away $50,000 richer.
And let's take a closer look at that Wipeout Zone, where contestants will first slide down the steep slope we call Killer Surf, as scorching flames erupt around them.
Then it's off to the barrel run, dashing up a ramp and leaping over a series of rolling barrels.
Next, they take a flying leap onto the spinner, hanging on there while they're whirled across to the final obstacle. Those are the launch pads.
Contestants fling themselves from trampoline to trampoline until they reach the finish.
And the first up, Pride of Alaska, Ariel Tweeto. Jill is with her right now.
Okay, thanks, guys. Ariel, you're at the Wipeout Zone.
I know, it's awesome, it's amazing. Yeah!
You're representing for the females tonight.
It's the plan. Represent, go women.
Ariel's seal hop technique took her over all 4 balls and into Wipeout history.
She was a lucky lady on the sweeper, lasting just long enough to make it onto the dizzy dummy, and from there, make that leap into the final 4.
Never been kissed, Ariel Tweeto at the top of the Wipeout Zone.
Standing between her and $50,000, water, fire, and an oversized slip and slide. Ariel off the Killer Surf, and a deep plunge into the icy water. These are no glaciers to worry about. Now onto the barrel run, where she must get to the top of the ramp in order to stop the oncoming barrels. You know, John, her diminutive size seems to be a problem here. Certainly not working to her advantage. Now it's onto that climbing wall, tiptoeing across that thin strip while confronted with a blinding shower of water. Trying to make her way over the spinner. She's done it in good time thus far. It's a great effort from Ariel Tweeto.
Sizing up the spinner, timing it right. She jumps.
Oh! Vicious plunge into that water.
And A long, costly swim back.
Take a look at that again. A poorly timed leap leads to an absolutely brutal wipeout. And it seems to have taken some of the fight out of our only remaining woman.
Yeah, she's lost tons of time getting back up onto the spinner, John.
Here's her second go at it. And another fall into that icy water.
And with it, another time-consuming swim.
Guys, one thing's for sure, Ariel is definitely not a quitter. She's still going.
And so is the clock, Jill. No longer seconds, but minutes ticking by. Third go on the spinner's the charm. Hanging on, water rushing down. She jumps, and she's onto that platform.
Oh, man!
Oh, man, indeed. The fourth element now, the course comes up. It's the launch pads.
That's right. Jumping from one to the other is usually the best policy and the best way across. Not as easy as it looks, though. Oh! She's into the water again, floundering and losing even more time.
She's worked her way back to that first trampoline, and now it's actually more about finishing than the clock. Ariel showing us the determination that's gotten her this far. 2 launch pads left to go. Whoa, and there is a great leap.
Ariel Tweedo makes a fantastic leap to the launch pad. She just has one final jump to the end.
And the final leap, there she is.
Oh, yeah!
Finished. And while the clock shows 15 minutes and 57 seconds,
let's see if Ariel's time holds up. Here's Jill Wagner with our next contestant.
Neil, you're at the wipeout zone.
Yeah, I am. It's intense. You know it's bad when they give you a mouthpiece.
after getting caught with his pants down, ridiculously good-looking Neil held his own on the sweeper.
Woo! Up, get higher!
He took virtually no damage on the dizzy dummy and was second to spring ashore from the crazy beam.
15 minutes, 57 seconds to time to beat. Neil Smith, the man trying to beat it. 29 years old from Long Beach, California, but battling like a 2-year-old here. Let's take another look at that entry. Ready, aim, fire. Neil quickly over to that barrel run, but sort of struggling with the barrels themselves.
Unfortunately, John, barrels aren't intimidated by good looks.
Racing up there, but again, valuable seconds ticking away as he makes it over to the climbing wall, and he's actually just behind Ariel's time at this point in the course.
Neil Smith teetering across that climbing wall there.
Oh, and there's a wipeout for Neil. That is a costly mistake. Now remember, folks, he has to climb to the ladder and tackle the second half of this climbing wall. Whew.
Now making his way to the spin cycle of the wipeout zone, the dreaded spinner. Takes a lot of guts to make that jump and make it quickly.
He's on.
And into the drink.
And that will be a long, time-consuming swim for Neil, who is on the complete opposite side of the spinner platform.
Solid jump, and he's on. But remember, Ariel took 3 times on the spinner. Can Neil do it in 2?
Yes, he can.
How about it, people?
Neil Smith has jumped ahead of the pace set by Ariel with only 1 obstacle remaining.
Bounce, second one, and same fate as Ariel on that first launch pad.
Unable to hold on. 15 minutes, 57 seconds, the time to beat. Neil Smith still in good shape time-wise as long as he doesn't go backwards into the drink again.
Ridiculously serious.
He'd better get serious and back up on those launch pads if he's going to have any hope at that $50,000.
This would be a major upset, John.
That'd be shocking. The time to beat there in your lower left-hand corner. Never thought it would be that tight a race. More launch pads to go, and folks, the seconds ticking away.
And he can't beat it. Ladies and gentlemen, ridiculously good-looking Neil Smith fails to unseat Ariel Tweedo.
So we look at our leaderboard. Neil is out of the running. That's ridiculous. Can tiny Ariel from Alaska hold on to that lead? We are in the home stretch of the Wipeout Zone. 2 contestants through, 2 challengers remain.
Never Been Kissed Ariel Tweedo is in the lead with only 2 contestants left. Mortgage broker Nick Lewis is up next. Let's take a look at how he got here.
Nick toted up a first-place finish in the qualifier.
Try to keep that going, doesn't mean much now. Whoa.
He had a strong showing in the sweeper and refused to be dazzled by the dizzy dummy.
So can Nick Lewis unseat Ariel, our Newport Beach mortgage broker doing his best imitation out of the housing market? Down, down, down.
Quick recovery, though, from the killer serve and making his way over to the barrel run. John, this man looks determined.
Now he's got a little bit of trouble coming through there. 2 at a time. Hey, whatever gets you through.
Slow down, Tiger. No running around the pool deck.
Over to that climbing wall now. He's trying to get a grip there and hold on as he goes across that thin platform.
Oh.
And that's a drinker. Look at that again. Never got a good grip. Down he goes, and now he's got to climb up again and get himself over to the spinner.
Temperatures are falling. Perhaps the cold starting to be a factor.
Moving his way through the onslaught of water there. The third element of the course, he's off the wall to the spinner.
Remember, no competitor has done this successfully on their first try so far today.
Nick Lewis, other dreams in mind, though. He's holding on, the dizzying ride around. He's got to make that leap to the platform. He does, but shorts the landing.
Bone-crushing wipeout, John. And as we've seen time and time again, now he's got to recover all the way back to the top of the spinner.
He's still poised for a good time, however, especially if he can make his leap. He's got it. He's on.
The 4th and final element in the course, the launch pad's another obstacle that no competitor negotiated cleanly. Let's see if Nick can be the first.
Bouncing up, bouncing down, bouncing into that water.
It looks like Neil and Nick both took a bite out of the same sandwich here.
Nick, though, still poised to have a very good time. Remember, Ariel, 15 minutes, 57 seconds is the time to beat, and Nick in great shape here as he continues to do well despite the falls.
John, the launch pad's proving to be the most difficult element of the course here in the Wipeout Zone today. And it'll lead to one final launch pad.
And he's got a grip on it. It looks like he will unseat Ariel. 9:30, 31, 32.
And he does it at 9 minutes, 33 seconds. Nick Lewis is your new leader.
Last up, our youngest competitor looking to best that time and take home the 50 grand. Teenage Ninja Kyle finished 3rd in the qualifier, bounded ahead of the pack to be the last man standing in the sweeper, and was our first to qualify for the Wipeout Zone.
Now, Nick, if he pulls this off, you lose that 50 grand.
I know.
The time to beat is Nick Lewis with 9 minutes and 33 seconds. Only one man left that can do it. It's Kyle Adler.
A womanly scream down the killer's surf.
Always worth a second look.
With a couple of twists and a deep plunge into the foam.
A quick recovery, though, and he's up over onto the barrel run. The fastest we've seen yet. This man a serious threat to Nick and his money.
The Taekwondo instructor from Saugus, California, making his way onto the climbing wall.
Our last 2 competitors took devastating falls off this climbing wall. Let's see if he can make it across. No problem there. Kyle Adler with a great run so far. But as we've seen before, caution, the spinner can whip away anybody's chances at 50,000.
And he jumps.
Steady on the spinner now. Can he be the first person to make it across to the landing platform in one jump?
He is safe into second base.
Accurately called. Kyle Adler dominating this course today. Just don't get careless.
This guy is a machine.
Woo! Onto the second launch pad now. 2 to go between him and the 50,000. And he falls.
Oh. And now the true test starts. Waterlogged, fatigue. Can Kyle Adler recover? He's got plenty of time. He just has to make sure he doesn't panic. His age actually a help here. Young arms, young legs.
That's right, John. He's going to need that same energy that got him through the qualifier. You can hear the inner ninja there.
He has owned the day, and now he owns the night. One launch pad between Kyle Adler and $50,000. He makes the leap. He also jumps the tax bracket. 50 grand richer. Fear the turtle.
You won $50,000.
That's what I'm talking about! That's what I'm talking about!
And we're talking about $50,000 to our new Wipeout champ, the Ninja Kyle Adler.
It's a lot of action figures, my friend.
To be sure, and you be sure to join us next week for a new batch of contestants, some crazy new obstacles, and of course, a whole lot of wipeouts. Till then, America, I'm John Anderson.
And I'm John Henson for Jill Wagner. Good night and big balls.